Like, hope you're all smashing the like button. That isn't just for show and tell. People, Deluded, I'm back again. Hope you've all had a great week. Happy Friday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And of course, in some cases, good night, wherever you're tuned in and whatever time you're tuning in from. Now, we beat Inter Milan. I don't need to tell you about Sunday. Sunday is war. It's a social media derby. It's a big London derby against the Peckham Reds. Shout out to the actual Manchester United fans from foreign and actually those that were born in Manchester, because them lot leave Arsenal alone. Yeah, we got a healthy rivalry. I think everybody's got friends and family members in London that just United fans, they chat nonsense. They know more and care more about Arsenal Football Club than their own. They know how much we spend, how many times probably Mikel Arteta has sneezed in his office and etc. We need to beat them. You know, as much as I'm gassed about Inter, and I know you can't win them all, and I know we haven't lost too many times this season, and I know we're 7 points clear. We know we're in the driving seat. I've told you lot before, I don't take too much stock in the points tally, at least until March. Reality is we've drawn our last 2 games. The performances in those 2 games in the Premier League weren't quite there. We have not got 3 points, and we did not score any goals. Man United are coming to our house. I think they beat us in 7 games. Let that continue. You know, they're doing too much now. You know, shout out Rance. I'm going to be on Rance's platform after this and we're going to war. But Carrick's got them giddy. He's doing everything that Amarin is not doing. We need to, you know, they're drunk right now. We need to sober them up, people. So, yeah, smash the like button. 1 minute you're hearing Kai Havertz is injured. Then you're hearing rumours that everybody is fit. Mikel Arteta is still playing mind games. Waneri's loan to Marseille has been confirmed. Julian Alvarez, great save. No Raya. The links are heating up. And how do you even feel about Alvarez? Because for me, I know he's versatile. You look at his current form, he's scrubby at the moment. And for me, until I see Arsenal, you know, we score goals, we play great football in moments in general, but focusing on the attack. We play great in moments. I just want to say, like, how many times have you seen us be good for 90 minutes this season? In all aspects, you could say, but in attack, we've seen moments. Bayern Munich comes to mind. Second half against City comes to mind. Newcastle is probably the one where from start to finish. Second half against Brighton, quote unquote. Definitely Aston Villa. How many times have you seen us play great over 90 minutes, be great in the final third over 90 minutes? And how many times have you seen it on a consistent basis? Is that a mentality? Is it Mikel Arteta? Is it a bit of both? Because I do think we've got elements of smelling blood. Now, I waffle about that to say this. I said it last season, going into this year. Obviously, you've added Zubamendi, who's adding goals and stuff similar to Declan Rice. You've got Eze, not really playing at this moment, but Maverick. You obviously bought Gyökeres. Nobody could sit there and tell me, based off last season, I know we were giddy over a striker. We wanted a forward and it was seen as a missing piece. And that's not wrong. But you couldn't tell me it was as white and black as just slapping them on the pitch and everything works. There is a bit of an attacking tax, I feel. So you had Gyökeres. Obviously, his goals were great. We're clamoring for a striker. The hype for years over that. There's obviously going to be an element of an exchange rate from the Portuguese league into the Premier League. Then obviously adding the exchange rate, there's a tax, because I do think to a degree we've clipped our attacking wings. I'm not really critical. I am critical over it, but I do think everything in life's a trade-off. I think, you know, obviously the first year we fought for the league was playing great football. Everyone remembers how a lot of them games were on knife edge. We became a bit more cute and clever, a bit more street smart. I think we need that. I think the only thing we're lacking now is the players picking themselves up and going through some run of forms. Mikel Arteta putting down the handbrake, which I did feel we saw at points this season. And obviously unleashing these players. So we can talk about Alvarez as much as we want. It would, for me, it'd probably be another attacker that we're still saying the same kind of things. And I'd also say, smash the like button. I'd definitely say that. I mean, I didn't expect us to sign 8 players. And, you know, obviously we all know the Trossards, regardless of form, the Martinellis, maybe a Mikel Merino, the Kai Havertzes. These players are always going to be linked with moves away in transfer windows. And I do think there's logic with them going. I do think, especially if we won the Premier League, the only hardest thing to do then win the Premier League is retain it. And I don't feel you can have too much turnaround. And also, it's all fun in the game saying sell Gabriel Jesus. Reality is he's on 200 odd bags a week, got a year left on his deal. You're kind of at his mercy. It kind of needs to make sense, if I'm honest with you. Now, I say that to say this. Julian Alvarez, you're seeing everything from 70, 80, 90, all the way to 100 million euros, right? So if you're bringing him in, and again, stranger things have happened. We don't know if Kroenke will put some more money in. We know Berta can work magic, and he's actually known to sign strikers year in, year out. But I couldn't see us doing what we did last summer, but really 100 odd million on another striker. And then remember, we need a left winger. We're captain for a left winger. I feel a bit more comfortable this season owing to Trossard's form, but let's be real. We need a left winger. So are we going to spend like 180, anything from 100 plus, let's just call it 100 plus million on 2 positions. This is all assuming that Mikel Arteta don't want another defender. We don't need to do other things. I think we need a left winger. I wouldn't be against Julian Alvarez and another striker. I would say, to keep me sweet, I'd love 2 central midfielders. If you're going to play Miles Lewis-Skelly in midfield, I think we need to bring another midfielder in so we could say one, so on and so forth, people. Even Norgard's being linked with a move away, people, man. These United twats want City to win the league over for us. The London-based ones. Alvarez is a baller. Sign him up front 9. Big up yourself, man. Alvarez has Champions League heritage. Arsenal don't. Massive difference. I hear that, but how much does that really, what does that really mean? Like, obviously he's won everything to offer, but what does that really mean? Because there's men that have won trophies at other clubs, and obviously it helps, experience, know-how, all of that. But it didn't really change anything. You know, Zinchenko Jesus won the league, Jorginho's won big trophies when he was here. The list kind of goes on. So I don't necessarily believe or think that is a reason to sign him, people, but I'm on it. I like Alvarez. You lot that have been following me, I wanted him and Cole Palmer when they were at City. I think we could have, City are not going to sell to us now, maybe, but when that kind of link was running, when they were looking at us as little brothers and not necessarily competitive, that's when we should have went for it. And it might lift the burden. And again, Julian Alvarez being their main striker, because surely with that money you're going to start, obviously can play off the left, would have to look at him very differently. It's like Rodrigo. If we sign Rodrigo, we'd all be happy and whatnot, whatever you think about the guy. But you're one of many at Real Madrid. We're looking at you, and there's obviously a supporting cast at Arsenal, but we're looking at you to be the guy sort of thing, man. I just wish there was another Alexis Sanchez. Alvarez will go Liverpool, I believe. I don't buy too much. I don't know Alvarez. I don't know Atletico. I don't know no agents. I do, but not these kind of ones. I don't know what's going on. And I just think it's easy to link him with a move away, really. For me, with Julian Alvarez, obviously, if you're going to sell him and you want to recoup somewhat close to the fee they paid initially, then the Premier League is right up your street. Obviously, Barcelona can cook the books and whatnot, but the Premier League's right up your street. But I look at Julian Alvarez, and again, I don't know him. But at the point of entry or re-entry back into the Premier League, everything's a step down. Obviously, Arsenal, different project, London, all that kind of stuff. But you played with the best manager, arguably, to have played under the best manager ever in the Premier League, potentially. You've won everything at City. Everything's a step down. Obviously, we've just handed out new contracts. And if you're going for these, we're not getting them, but we dream of a world where we're getting the Kvaratskhelas and Dembélés and this one and that one. You're going to have to pay them suitable wages, right? Surely his family are comfortable in Spain. You know, the way of life in Spain and the weather is probably more akin to Argentina. I ain't got no basis of this, but I keep saying it all the time. I just think he's going Barca. It just seems like the next step. Lewandowski, as great as he is, ain't going to be there forever, etc., man. So, yeah, I mean, Liverpool would have him, but surely the last, I wouldn't say the last, but the last of Liverpool's needs is another forward. You know, did you not see Andy Robertson's apparently going to Spurs? But the last of their needs, you've got Isaac. You know, as much as it's funny to say Isaac's a flop at this moment, it will bang. You've got Hugo. They can play in other roles. You know, surely Liverpool would need more of an Elise than an Alvarez. And why I say that is evidently he's a right winger, in it. Salah's great. He's not going to be there forever. They probably need a couple of centre halves. Don't know what's going on with Konate's deal's running down. Van Dijk's probably got another year or two max at the top level before you need succession planning. Maybe another right back. I'm not convinced with Liverpool's right back options. If there's one area they don't need to spend heavy, I won't say attack, because attack can be a 10, a winger, and all those things, but it wouldn't be another number 9. And I know Alvarez can play everywhere, but if you're spending that money, surely he wants to. I don't know him, and you have to be versatile, but surely he wants to play through the middle, man. So, yeah, man, Rob, big up yourself, and I hope you're well as well. I'm good, man. It's always a pleasure to be here with you lot. Let's get the likes up. Subscribe if you haven't. Happy Friday, folks. Marcel, why's your comment not coming up? Oh, there we go. Happy Friday, folks. Drink responsibly. If you're going to get down and dirty tonight, use protection for the blood. This guy's a madman. How did you get there? I don't know what that means, but yeah. I mean, does it feel the same if you use protection? You got God's protection, innit? Is what it is. I'm not a fan of Alvarez. I don't see how it works. I feel he'll just end up outside, which is pointless. A bit of an expensive trade for Jesus' profile. I hear you, but you know me. When I got a player that I like, I got bias to him, South American, and I can't lie, man. Like, bro, just spend the peas, man. Like, there is that other side. Just spend the peas, man. Like, there was times when we done the penny pinching. I just show me the money, man. Just show me the money, please, man. Alvarez could be a change from injury-prone Havertz. No disrespect, but we may need Yildiz and a winger. True. I hear it, but can you see us spending all of that Wonga? Alvarez will just end up out wide. Just don't see how it works. It could be a Salah situation where he returns to the EPL and he's more mature and figured out his game. But I hear that, but I don't even think it's a that thing. You know, we all know you wanted to be a bit more of a main player and regular guy, but I just think I don't think there's any of that. Maybe the Atletico thing's not working out. Obviously the Premier League's competitive. You earn a lot of wages. Again, you have to look at the London lifestyle, the London aspect. I don't think it's that. Like, what have you not achieved in England? Like, what have you not done? You've played under the best manager, learned a lot, won everything. Back to F off to Spain, innit? He's going to replace Jesus. Let's keep it. Spades of space. Who cares, bro? We've spoken to him. I hear it, but like, again, Jesus probably will be moved on. I've said on record, I think this is his last season, but argument's sake, you have to take words at face value. And obviously we've got Berta and Jesus had his injury and all of those things. But you do have to give Jesus one luxury. I'm not saying we should do it, but we all know a man might be in good form. How many times at this club and elsewhere, a player looks like the writing's on the wall, he's leaving. I say the word form subjectively. Form looks a bit all right. There's a bit of a U-turn. He's contracted. His family's probably cool. He probably wants to stay and be competitive. He keeps saying he wants to stay. He's contracted until 2027 on 200 odd bags a week. Berta can work a madness if he can, but you're kind of reliant on Jesus to want to go. And if we're real with ourselves, big up Berta, because, you know, he joined last March, had a great summer. But in terms of outgoings, we didn't really do anything like that. Like, on paper, Nelson is still here, Vieira is still here, and all of those kind of things. So he could replace him, but it's easier to, and there's even that conversation to be had, because I do think you have to kind of keep the squad together. You can't have too many wholesale changes to the nucleus of the squad, if it makes sense to you lot, yeah. But just because we want to sell players don't mean they could all kind of go in one window. And we didn't really sell anything last year, but we do need to. It's all fun and games giving these new contracts. Jesus, decent player, 200 odd grand a week. Kai Havertz, probably, I don't really believe the Kai one because that's Arteta's guy, but 200 odd grand a week. You know, couple man might with Nelson 100 odd grand. Vieira probably on 50, 60. Couple of those 50,000 pound a month. You get rid of them, it starts to look a bit better, really. Even Norgard's getting linked with a move away. Kepa every now and again, man. So yeah, man. Trossard for El Crumpty makes sense, but adding Yildiz for Jesus, I don't know. Just for Yildiz, well, go on Boston, man. Julian Alvarez release clause is over 400 million GPB. Is Arsenal willing to pay that? We're not activating that release clause, bro. They have to have release clauses in Spain. We're not going to do that. You're probably more likely to see 100 odd million quid. Real Don Dada, appreciate you. There's a reason Henry was begging Berta to sign Alvarez in the summer. Baller. Well, go on, bro. We need a shameless performance later against Rance. He's getting giddy. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. Alvarez is a healthy version of Jesus. He'll be our best attacker. DG, you might have some youths out there that you don't know, but it's not my problem then, innit? But look after your kids, man. To me, at City, he had an identity crisis. He's a false nine support striker or sits on the shoulder striker. At Athletic, it seems he has to learn from Griezmann and become a central nine with good technique. I'm not on circling for City rejects and so players. Jesus just signed to a new Italian agency. He's definitely gone next summer into our AC. Yeah, I think he's gone, but that could mean he's gone. That could mean he could still negotiate a deal with Arsenal, yada, yada, yada. Jesus is playing for a contract, probably a good thing. Alvarez would be an upgrade on Jesus. And even that, like, there's logic with keeping these players for the squad. But if Jesus has a great end to the season or has a little purple patch, should we still sell him? Probably, I'm sure if we were offered, if I said to you, lot, 35, 40 million for Trossard last summer, a lot of you, I got a lot of things wrong. I was saying keep him and Martinelli. But and it's not wrong in you lot's case, some of you would have got rid of him. Now, assuming Trossard maintains this form, and we get offered 30, 40 million quid next summer, summer of 2026, are you going to get him gone? We're going to have to find that balance of kind of keeping the squad together, removing sentiment, having forward planning and all that kind of jazz. I genuinely think we're going for him. Who knows, man? And as much as I like the Alvarez links, at the end of the day, unless we sign you in January, which isn't going to happen, we're going to need you. Jesus to Napoli is on. Bro, half of our attackers that are hot and cold, they go Italy. Jesus will get 20 league goals there. Like, bare shit players will go there and get goals, man. Jesus was auditioning for Inter Milan. But it's the wages, though, man. We've never seen Burton move in January, so if anything happens, it'll probably be a surprise. Who knows? To be fair, this is his first January at the club, per se. So who knows, man? Who knows, man? Who genuinely knows? Should we look at what's going on in the papers and the tabloids? If my screen will share. First things first. Is it sharing? So you're just not going to listen to me. Well, we're just the screens. I'm here, but it's kind of frozen. Like, okay, here we go. It's been officially confirmed. Wanyery's joined Marseille on loan. People on Arsenal.com. The 18-year-old made 12 appearances to date for Arsenal. He could be playing Paris FC on Saturday at the earliest. They're going to be a team to watch out for in France, in my opinion. We wish you all the best. Go get game time and come back a better player in it. It's better that you go and get football. I don't know why this account has me blocked on Twitter. Weirdo, but nonetheless. I don't know if I should take any of this with a pinch of salt, but apparently ahead of the game against Man United, Arsenal have a fully fit squad for the first time this season. Do we believe that? Calafiori and Hincapié were both pictured in training. And yeah, big up hand of Arsenal. He did say, obviously, Hincapié returned to training like 2 days ago. He also said Timber's contract is moving smoothly. Who would you lot start? Because for me, obviously, you can see like the stars. If Calafiori is fit, I'm starting him, or anything close to fitness, he's starting. Hincapié the same. I know they probably don't have 90 minutes, so we're going to have to mix and blend in that regards. I don't mind MLS. I probably wouldn't go with Martinelli, but if MLS is there, you go and help him out. I've gone with any one of the left-back opportunities. I must admit, I understand the logic with Timber at left-back because Ahmad's the one, obviously they got Mbuemo, they got Bruno can get goals. The one that probably shooks me the most is Amad Diallo, and when you've got probably your best 1v1 fullback against Timber, that helps. I just feel the build-up plays dead. I want us to be brave tomorrow, if I'm completely honest with you. So I'm going with any of the left backs. Obviously MLS gets a start if we can't have Hincapié and Calafiori. I don't really want to see the Benjamin White Timber thing. If it goes out there, great. Saliba, Gabriel, David Raya, Rice, Zubamendi, Odegaard, I'll be real, last chance. I mean, who am I to say that, innit? Because I'm not the manager, but last chance, man. Because if not, I don't really care about the pressing and all of that. I think there's a bit of hiding. I'm not going to ask anything of an individual I don't think they have in them. I need to see some influence. And if that's not the case, it'll probably be Marino. I'm going Marino up front. Don't kill me, people. I know some of you are going Jesus. I understand it. Gyökeres, I understand it. But, and you know, we're going to need to press Man United. We're going to need to be brave. We're going to need to press. But if you looked at that City game, and if I use that as a case study, they set up little traps where they play short intentionally to go long. Marino will drop into midfield. And I do think, yeah, Lissandro, like you see with half the centre-backs in the league, them man are prepared to play against traditional strikers. I think with Marino, Jesus could do kind of what I want from Marino, obviously. Marino just go into midfield, just pack out the midfield for me, man. My wingers, I need runs. My midfielders, I need runs. Obviously, as the game comes, because don't get twisted, the ones that don't start, so like if Miles Lewis, Skelly, Gyökeres, Jesus, they're going to be needed off the bench, people. So I've gone with any of our left-back options, like the guys that are more likely to be there. Raya, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, Rice, Zubamendi, Odegaard, Bakayo. I'm going Marino up front. I don't know why Martinelli's there, in truth, really, because I'm going with Trossard, if I'm completely honest. But then even that, I do think it's a bit too narrow on that side, man. Marino scares me, man, hot and cold. Martinelli has to start to help with the off-the-ball duties. United are good on the counter. Smash the like button. Calafiori starting would be great. I doubt it will happen. Ahmad's quality, man. Hincapié is starting. Cala came back after 2 months. Even that one, them two are the ones I'm trying to start. I'm not trying to see. I'm not really like, it's just a build-up play, man. 1v1 against Ahmad, I don't mind that, but I'm not trying to see Benjamin White and Timber at left back. To be fair though, with White, you're not playing against Rashford, so it could be good. Alvarez is definitely better than Gabby and Havertz. Endrick and Ethan to follow in League One. Smash the likes. Appreciate you lot, man. Hope Alvarez keeps stinking like he is now so we can get him for less. I'd love to keep Jesus, Leao, Martinelli, add Alvarez and a left winger, but surely that's impossible. Yeah, a couple man need to go, man. Like, couple players need to probably be moved on. If I'm brutally honest, you can't keep them all. Timber at left back is worse than any version of MLS. Disagree, because there was a time where Timber was shelling it down. Sometimes I feel like it's like we got to remember how complicated Arteta's system is, collectively and individually. It's like Timber's been so focused on that right back stuff. 1v1, you're still good. You still invert, but it don't really help us. And you know what? When Calafiori and Timber were fit, you did start to see us get a bit more out. In the attack, it's still not good enough, but our fullbacks were getting in the opposition box. We're getting chances. I feel with Calafiori's injury, rather than kind of leverage what you're doing this season, I think Arteta's gone back to type. I feel our left-hand side, there's nothing really going on over there, innit? There really isn't. Yeah, I remember he started more left back when he started playing for us. We have to have tricky legs and fastness for Ahmad. DG, did you see the Chelsea assistant coach with tape on his forehead? I thought it was AI. Listen, you lot know me. I'll always defend coaches who do that. It does look like a bit of a wally, but I hear it. Call me a novice, but I'm okay with keeping Odegaard, the ball ticking, pressing well, and getting the occasional shot on. Reminds me of what Griezmann did for my national team. I hear that, but I'm a big Odegaard fan. I think you're hiding, bro. I think your form has been up and down this season. I feel probably before the 2 games we drew and where we're at now, you was in a good moment. Now you've gone back. I understand you're the captain, but at the end of the day, yeah, you being the captain don't mean you need to start. I need to, and as much as I feel, I actually would like to see a bit of more creative freedom to Odegaard. We know he's gonna pull out to this right hand pocket. He's gonna help lead the press. He's obviously gonna receive off the centre backs. I wouldn't say he's too much on the left hand side, but like occasionally he might pull over here, and then obviously as we progress play, I hear all of that. But I feel like I'm doing too much. If I'm talking about, as much as we know we need it, if I'm talking about my creative man pressing, if I'm talking about my winger going backwards, if I'm talking about my striker dropping into midfield and occupying centre backs and all of that, it's not that these things are not true, but we're getting into scary territory. If we really believe in the squad and all these things, then everyone should be up for granted. And I like Odegaard, but bro, you need to stand up to be counted, because I'm having crazy thoughts. You know, we're talking about Eze. We might think maybe if Wenger was here, he would have given one year an opportunity. I'm having scary thoughts. Obviously, Odegaard don't play up front, but if we just assume that I'm subbing Odegaard now, I'm having scary thoughts. I'm having very scary thoughts about you and Mr. Kai Havertz in that midfield. It will be ugly. But I don't want to go down this path. Gyökeres has to start confidence building after the Inter game. This is a chess match. I hear you, you're not wrong. And Gyökeres probably will start, but pardon my language, fuck your confidence, bro. Like, we need to it's a game plan thing. It's a chess game. We need to just get the 3 points. And I believe at moment it's with Merino. To be fair, if you start Gyökeres, he's going to press relentlessly, do all of that kind of stuff. I wonder if he goes with Jesus. Obviously, he's coming back from injury, working his way back. Had a couple of days rest and still having a couple of days rest going into Sunday. I don't know, man, but we need 3 points. Whatever's rocking out there, we need to get 3 points. Martinelli, Gyökeres, and Saka will be the front three. Probably, if I'm honest with you. Probably. Alvarez would be a proper upgrade. How many goals has he got, though, man, in a single season? Because the players have to fix up, but we all know if there's one area we're not really convinced with Mikel Arteta, it's the final third. So again, the players have to fix up. But whatever you think about Odegaard, Eze, Gyökeres, Saka, this one, that one, if the whole group ain't really doing it, then they have to be held accountable. They need to fix themselves up. But then also you need to look at the one governing. In the same way, all the positives around Arsenal, the players have to take responsibility for that. Big up the gaffer. You get it? And I still don't think it's as white and black. You could bring me Isaac, you could bring me Alvarez, you could do this and that. These players might be better, but you still probably wouldn't see them at that true risk. Take that risk, Jesse. Tell them again, man. Would be good to see both Odegaard and Eze starting with Rice in behind. Well, I'm not sure against Man United. We'll probably see that against Kairat, if I'm honest with you. Well, what? Norgard, Eze, Odegaard, they probably got it there because you can't use Rice and Marino for that game. But we have to focus on this game. You can only look at what is in front of you, people. Izan Khan of the Daily Mail did say Arsenal have, and we're going to go over Mikel Arteta's press conference, Arsenal have concerns over Kai Havertz's fitness after his knee flared up on his recent return from injury. There are fears it could have long-term ramifications that could see the club forced to settle for a prolonged management of his game time. Now, we played a lot of football, and I won't quite say we're at the halfway point, but we're at the halfway point of the season. That don't fill me with confidence. Because you let one go, whatever you think about Ethan, because as you lot know, I'm all for the loan, but you've got less bodies. Do you think we'll move in the market? Probably not, but I'd love to know you lot's thoughts regardless, man. Start Jesus, let Gyökeres build that confidence off the bench and run at players when fatigue sets in. That's kind of my thinking. Maybe Odegaard is more of a Bernardo than Kevin De Bruyne, linking things, not at the end of things, but yeah, I hear you, he does hide too much. Even that, though, if he's a Bernardo Silva, maybe not the Bernardo now, yeah, but like, bro, you could see the influence. Like, I need Odegaard to keep doing that pressing stuff. I need you to start governing the games. I need more, and this is for everyone, I need more of a goal and assist threat, because at the end of the day, we ain't got time to carry people. We haven't. And look what I'm saying, Marino, because at the end of the day, we all know Odegaard's the better player. Eye of a needle pass, wonder guard, the class region. But if you're not doing that, then the one luxury I can give you is you understand the system. You know where to stand, in all phases. Marino can do that. I'm not saying this right. Marino can do that. Why do you think Marino comes on for Odegaard? And sometimes Marino has a bit of a different role, but Marino also does the right centre mid stuff. Like Marino and Kai, they might not be the most enjoyable to watch. They're probably two of the most intelligent footballers in our squad, isolated to what Mikel Arteta demands of a striker. That's why them man have the trust. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying I agree with it. Eze and Wanyeri didn't. And I think for Mikel Arteta, for his own coaching development, let alone getting Arsenal, not just this season, but seasons above, he's got to arrest certain things. Like, I know a lot of his thing is anti-risk and calculated risk, but I do think there's too much number crunching. There's too much prediction of games, and it's got us to this point, and it's right. But no matter how much you think about an opposition, not just Arsenal, but elsewhere, no matter how much you do that, why do we all love football, people? Because there's moments that you can't predict, you don't know. We didn't know we'd mash up Real Madrid. Obviously, we weren't happy, but you didn't know Szoboszlai was going to lick in a free kick. There's an element of unpredictability, and I do think, yeah, like on some days, like Wanyeri at the moment, young, naive, but his game is centered around risk. Eze as well. They might lose the ball and the other team goes down the back of the net and scores. But sometimes when the game's not working and like both teams, it's a chess match, they cancel each other out. These players that can do things like Wanyeri might just put it on his left bang. We've got 3 points against Nottingham Forest where we've been crap, for example, or Eze against Liverpool, for example. There's those kind of things. And again, everybody makes mistakes. Odegaard, no matter what people say about keeping it safe and whatnot, what happened at Chelsea in the League Cup? Did he not get caught? What happened against Man City at the Emirates? Did Magalhaes not? Did we not lose the ball in one end and we was poor in several phases? Mistakes happen, bro. This is football. You go from one end to the other. The only time mistakes are not going to be made is if your team's not playing. So yeah, man. Off topic, DG, but great video you did on Junior Crumpty, by the way. Appreciate that. More of them to come, man. More of them to come, man. It's just, I download the clips. I upload them on YouTube. Obviously, they're private, so you lot can't see. I let YouTube filter through because you start getting hit with copyright and all that kind of jazz, man. But appreciate you lot, man. We're going to get back to stars and duds of the week. We're probably going to play Football Manager today, so make sure you're on Twitch. And we're going to keep going, man. This year, we need to, we need to get 75K, man. We need to. Man said, hit the like button, people. Very unique quality analysis here. This guy, blood. Big up yourself. And again, the counterattacks against Man United, like, we've been counted against, in my opinion, in general, far too cheaply. And we do play a high line. And Man United probably... they're giddy, not even giddy, but Carrick's coming, breath of fresh air, Amarin's gone. Players are, the formation is suiting them. I guess the tactics and the training is suiting them. They've got nothing to lose. Like, they're trying to achieve, I guess. Well, the only thing they can do is top four. Mathematically, they can probably still win the league. Obviously, we know that's foolishness. If they lose, innit? We've got everything to lose because we've shot ourselves in the foot when it's all said and done against Liverpool and Forest, maybe some games before. Again, I don't want to read too much into the points tally, but it can get cut short. And you know what? We've got two very difficult games. Man United at home against Carrick, where he's got one over Arteta. And we got to go Ellen Road next week. Leeds away, we probably win. But you know what kind of game that is? It's end-to-end. It's the fans are on it. It feels like the fans are on the pitch. We know what time it is. So we need to get back on the horse. I'm seeing these Chelsea lot putting Archie Pong for sale. Go grab that and then go get Livramento in the summer. But if they're shutting them, I'm on that. Man said Henri Cody Crypty. Do you think you can beat if we meet in the semi-finals? Bayern Munich? We can't meet in the semi-finals. We can only meet. I think the people came out and said, based on you lot first, well, us first and you lot second, we can only meet in the final. Yes and no. Because as much anyone that saw on CBS what Thierry Henry was saying, I back that all the way. Like, I love where we did it last year. I love what we're doing. I think Arteta, you've shown me in the last 3 years, 4 including now, the man can compete, bro. Like, we could compete. Top 6 games used to be a write-off. I'm not saying we've won or been perfect in all of them, but we can compete. We're a difficult team to play. We've got a unique brand of playing football. We've shown different ways of scoring. We've gone against Carlo Ancelotti, Company, Pep, Luis Enrique, all these guys. Whether we've won, lost, or draw, we've cut our teeth. We've done quite well. So I know we can do that. But for me, it's about getting through now. Now, when we played Bayern in the quarterfinals one year, I think there was a bit of stage fright. Obviously disappointed, no worries. Beat Real Madrid, got to the semis. I think it came down to a lot of things. I think competency. I think in the second leg against PSG, I think it was a valiant effort from us. We was trying, but us giving our all within the context and them not just being like, it's like we were playing to 10 out of 10 of our capabilities. Them man were like a 6 out of 10. I don't mean that in a disingenuous way. And I don't know what it's going to look like in it, because when the pressure's on, there's a lot of football to be played from then till now. People are going to lose form, gain form. There's injuries, there's suspensions, there's all of these kind of things, people. And I do think an element of the latter stages, you just need anyone who's got, obviously not everybody's got like world-class players in abundance, but the star boys or the star players in the Arsenals, in the Bayerns, in the Barcelonas, in the Real Madrid, when you get to the knockout stages, I do believe there's an element of, you might just need a moment from someone to just smash it in from 30 yards or someone to just grab a goal. And I don't have that. And it's also on the gaffer, because sometimes I think Arteta goes for it once in a blue moon, like City game, where they could have hit us on the counter, but they were camping. We came out. Other than that, I kind of think regardless of how the game pans out, we kind of stick to our guns. And you know, if it was a boxing match and like we're losing the rounds in it, we're still just jabbing, where you never know. You might have lost every round, but if you knock him out, you're getting the belt in it type of thing. So I do think a lot of what I'm saying is mainly for Mikel Arteta, but for Arsenal, obviously, because you're a gaffer, but you as a manager, because I look at Pep Guardiola, I look at Luis Enrique, I look at Luis Enrique because their system is kind of like Arsenal's, but he's found a way to be solid defensively, to have you stand, you know, especially the midfield, you got to stand here and do that. But then by the same token, you see the six, sometimes the furthest player. You got to tune out Dembele as a false nine, relating it to Pep. Obviously, Arteta is not Pep. We ain't got no Haaland. We're having a sensible football conversation. On paper, Haaland's not an Arteta striker. Well, he's not an Arteta striker, but he's not a Pep Guardiola striker. But the pros to Haaland outweigh any cons that you think in it. So you found a way to get something out of him. People were saying Ryan Cherky's gone off the ball. He wouldn't work hard and do all of these kind of things that Arteta would want. Because I wanted Cherky. Arteta's from the school of Pep Guardiola, so you could say the same. He's found a way to make that work. I feel that's where I need to go with my gaffer. I do think when you initially came in, you had to work with what you had in it. I think we've got into that stage where obviously we're in a different moment. We're signing players that make sense, but I still think we're losing a bit of that, if it makes sense. Maybe I'm waffling, but let me know if it makes sense, people. Facts, DG. It feels like Arteta is terrified of taking risks in central areas, only on the wings. Fair. But not taking a risk sometimes is a risk. I think we can defend in all aspects. Especially, like, one thing we could do more is controlling the tempo of a game. But attack is a form of defense. Logically speaking, bro, if man are just attacking, and the team can't get out their own half, there's that. And it will come back to bite you. But there's been a couple of times, like let's say Nottingham Forest, for example, or even the City game where we're chasing it and we're losing 1-0 and we did get the goal. But let's just say we was chasing it. One counter-attack, they've gone down the other end, they've made it 2-0. Of course, I'm going to say, oh, we was naive. We got caught on the break. All of those kind of things, people. But I'm at the stage now where these things might cost you in certain games. They might help you in another. And I understand it because if I'm Arteta, we had to get, like Klopp did it. Remember, Klopp was just minute 0 to minute 9. I'm just running forward. They became more street smart and changed their ethos. Obviously, they brought in other players. That's the kind of things that we're gonna have to do. So I understand, because there is a correlation with us being a bit more street smart, defensively sound, and making sure that first year we fought for a title, it wasn't just a fluke. But then I look at last year, like, and I understand it sometimes with Arteta, because ironically, somebody mentioned Liverpool at the Emirates. Do you remember, like, a lot of people were saying we weren't taking risks. We were doing well in the game, but we weren't taking risks. Why did Liverpool score that equalizer? Because we took a risk. We got caught. You know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I think Trent played the ball for the on-running Darwin Núñez. It could have been Darwin who scored. I'm pretty sure it was Trent, banged it over the top. Darwin sponsored it in some sort of way, and I'm sure Salah scored in it. So yeah, man. Win Premier League or champs, take one. Me, for my players, I think they need the Prem, because we've come so close and not got over the line. So I think it's for them. If you're offering me with no context of how the season would pan out, put my Champions League in the bag, man. It's funny playing FM and then watching your team play against a player you're using, Esposito. He's quite good in my opinion. Fair enough. Big up you lot. Bang on the money, man. 2 trophies, please. I'd love it, man. Give me anything. We need to make up for lost time. I want to play Barca in the final, run it back with a different result. I was born that year. Raw. You was born in 06? You're 20. I'm ashamed I even needed to use Google. Bless up, James, man. I appreciate you. Crumpty in for Trossard. I don't mind, but that's good experience. And even, you know what? I'd probably keep Trossard, you know. I understand, bro. Certain money gets flashed. Do your thing. But I do think I know what I'm getting with Trossard. Experienced squad player. Everything you're saying. I wouldn't necessarily... For me, I wouldn't cry if we sold Kai. If we sold... I keep throwing Marino in there just because he divides opinion. But if you sold Kai, if you sold Marino, if you sold Jesus, if you sold Martinelli, I wouldn't cry about any of them. But then I'd be lying to you lot if I thought, well, 4 players come leaving. Do I necessarily feel good about that? Do I feel there's no risk? I'll be lying to you lot if I told you lot anything different, man. Do you think there'll be a statue of Declan Rice if you win the Premier Champs? Bro, run it, man. Run it. Which player will get a statue like Thierry if Arsenal win the Premier Champs? I don't think we'll have a statue anytime soon, but give that to Saka, man. Yeah, I think it's a good thing while Arteta is being conservative this season, and God willing we win the league. You'll then see our free-flowing football frequently next season. I'm not too sure on that. And again, the good, bad, it's not always the gaffer's fault, but in football, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between, it is the manager accountable for it. Like, if you look, big up the 85 of you that are tuned in and the 70-odd thousand people that are subscribed to my channel, yeah, but if I own a shop or I have a company and all 70,000 of you work for me in some way, shape, or form across many different things around, like many different stores and whatnot. Obviously, I'm not there. I'm not the manager. I'm not flipping the burgers. I'm not working at this store and that store. But you see, if there's failure or there's question marks and whatnot, I am the one that has to be accountable for it, because ultimately it's indirectly my fault. That's the type of thing. I'm never going to be a fan of scapegoating, but you get the point. Now, we got to start getting over this Julian Alvarez stuff, man. Brother, we're still waiting for righty statue, cultural impact. Yeah. You know what? No one ain't getting no statues until Uncle Ian gets his thing. David Ornstein said on Julian Alvarez, Arsenal were considering Julian Alvarez in the summer. His name came up. You could see that sort of player coming into Arsenal. If there's going to be outward maneuvering, whatever that means, then there's definitely scope for the arrival in attacking positions. I think right back is an interesting area for Arsenal that has probably been on the long-term agenda. It wouldn't surprise me if they're looking around their names. I don't know. The attacker and right winger, and adding another central midfielder for depth. Norgard appears to have been sensible, but you don't know how long that will continue. Fair play in that regards. We've got Mikel Arteta's press conference, so we can go over that. Again, everyone and the dog is talking about this Julian Alvarez stuff. A man said, who's better, Beckenbauer or Saliba and Gabriel? Come on, man. Respect Beckenbauer, man. Like, I'm not going to do that. But hopefully you win some Prems and Champs. We can put you in conversations. Trossard, Kai, Martinelli, Jesus are not good enough for our team. Trossard right now is good, but he's old and a winger. He will get slower and less physical. Just look at Salah's fall off. Yeah, but then it won't surprise me if Salah... You say that, and Salah is stinking up the place. But how much of it is just Salah, or everything is a tax on everything Liverpool have done and haven't done? And don't forget, you're saying the old thing, yeah? Go back, and I know you're only as good as the season you're in your last game. Go back to last season where Liverpool won the league. You could argue that was the old, but we're getting into that, the end, not the end games, but the end games of Mohamed Salah. You could argue last season is his best individual season in a Liverpool shirt in the Premier League, where obviously he's not a spring chicken. Why did you not say Salah? Because now you mentioned Salah, I've seen Sadio Mane, I'm seeing Callum Chambers, I'm seeing Rob Holding, I'm seeing things that I didn't want to see anymore. But nonetheless, Arsenal exploring the possibility of launching a summer move for Atletico Madrid forward Julian Alvarez, sources have told ESPN. Andrea Berta has strong links with the La Liga club after spending 12 years working at the club prior to moving to North London last month. Berta negotiated the 95 million euros in brackets, $82.4 million. Anyone know how much that is in pounds? Transfer from Manchester City in August of 2024. And sources suggest he retains a close relationship with the player's agent, Fernando Hidalgo, and his camp. Well, that could be in relation to Julian Alvarez and obviously the things we've been talking about. But also, we've got to remember, he could be an agent of many a player. And Berta could have had dealings with him. He could be an agent of someone at Arsenal, whether they're here now or we're chatting to them. I don't know. But I just feel the way the language is, it adds more fuel to the fire. Apparently, Barcelona hold a strong interest in Alvarez, but their ongoing financial difficulties appear to complicate a potential deal of this scale. Alvarez is thought to have a mammoth 500 million euros release clause in his contract, bearing in mind everyone in Spain needs that. But sources in Spain suggest Atletico would demand a fee in excess of 100 million euros this summer if they were to sell at all. Now, can you not see us spending 100 odd million euros? So let's call that 85, 90, and you're bringing in a left winger. Now, if we can scout a left winger that was the Mane at Southampton or was going to be the Salah of Liverpool, obviously, when they signed him, they're not going to sell too many shirts at the point of entry, great. But if we're just looking at it as lazy fans and we're looking at, like, obviously, Semenyo's gone Bournemouth, but them kind of ones, can you see us spending 100 odd million there? 50 plus, conservative 50, probably around 80 on a left winger, probably need a centre mid. We don't know any other areas Mikel Arteta is saying, without talking about sales, because we will have sales, but we didn't really sell no one last year, and it's easier said than done. We know, owing to the old regime, we've got meaty players on big wages, so you're kind of relying on them to say, we'll get it moving, or Berta to pull a rabbit out of the hat. So yeah, he's got 40 goals in 85 games since joining Atletico and has a contract until 2030. Some of you will know that he's kind of stunk up the place this season. The exact nature of Arsenal's contact is unclear, but sources suggest club officials have made informal inquiries to determine whether a deal would be possible before weighing up whether to formalise their interest later in the year. Sources have told ESPN that Arsenal considered Alvarez among a number of forwards, including Sesko and obviously Gyökeres, prior to us obviously going with Gyökeres. Yeah, so there we have it. And even Mikel Arteta, man, you spent the bag on midfield. And I get it. Like, obviously, it's only really now that we put the final touches on our team, you can really focus on strikers and wingers. Throughout the time, we've had to look after the foundation. But 128 minutes, bro, who have you bought? Willian was criminal. Edu and Arteta, both of you hold your hands out. Both of you for that. Trust up, big up yourself. I don't know how you've gone Brazil and rocked up with Marquinhos, but you did. Raheem Sterling, Edu, Noni, Arteta. I'm not even vexed at Noni because I think Noni's brought something. But the one thing with Noni and the one thing I wanted with attackers is some need to be level raisers. Man need to be numbers. As much as I like Noni, the one thing you don't have is numbers. So I can't be mad at you. Arteta, you knew this. I'm looking at you. You make him score them goals because you brought him in for 50 odd million. So you do that. Eze, I don't know how we've got here, Gaffer, but he's here in it. I don't care if he's an Arteta player or not, or you only wanted him because Kai's injured and you only wanted Gyökeres because there's no Sesko. You don't get everything in life. You don't get everything in life. How many of you for Christmas, we all go through the Argos catalogue, you're writing bare things down. You're lucky if you get one. You still make it work. So, yeah, midfield, I'm cool with it. Zubamendinho, you know, half of them. Obviously, Fabio Vieira, them shit ones didn't work. But, you know, Jorginho, we got a tune out of it. Declan's mustard. Norgard, I'm cool with it. Marino, you're ironically playing up front, but we're here now. Zubamendinho, I'm cool with it. Lokonga, I actually did a video on bringing you to Arsenal. Looking back, again, I'm not privy to it, but it's nothing to do with ability. I just don't think you had the mentality. Partey, good signing in the grand scheme of things, but we never got that consistent. We had a good party a lot of the time. We never had a great party. So, yeah, defenders, I'm kind of, well, the defenders that are actually good because we used to sign some meaty ones. Who signed up front? Jesus. That's shameless, though. Slightly, that's shameless adding Kai Havertz there because if you add Kai here, you got to add Marino because let's be real. We all know Kai is versatile. We know he scored the Champions League winning goal playing as a false nine. We've seen it at Chelsea. We see it for Germany and no doubt we've seen it at Arsenal. But let's be real. You tried to do the Declan Rice and Kai Havertz midfield. It did not bang. We failed upwards with that. No worries. We found the role. But we've got to be honest. Gyökeres just makes something happen, man. If Arsenal wins the Premier League and Champions League, is he a better manager than Wenger? No. Because some of the best managers in the game ain't won nothing, bro. Like, I'm not saying they're the best here, but Pep's won everything at multiple clubs. And them kind of man, who did they mention? Marcelo Bielsa. What did Bielsa win? So it's obviously we can do the lazy thing and there's privy to it and just say trophies and that. But like the best managers are some of the best coaches, full stop, if I'm honest. So it's not as white and black as that. Arteta could win 10 Champions Leagues, 10 Prems in a row. You're not, for me, you're not better than Wenger because Wenger's legacy goes beyond winning stuff, even though he won, goes beyond Arsenal. It's a football legacy, innit? There's no Arteta, there's no Pep, there's none of any foreign man, none of them are here until Wenger came here and did this thing. Wenger was ahead of his time. Respectfully to the gaffer, you can't do this, innit? And you can't play better football than my guy. I'm a Wenger baby. You shouldn't ask me that. Noni does everything right until he's in the final third and he just whips the play. Again, if we say this, Arteta, you've known this, innit? Richie is posting stories, no way he starts. Who will win, this Arsenal team or Man United 08? I mean, when the Arsenal 08 team played Man United, who won? I might have a different answer, but I'm not throwing my boys under the bridge. And he could go Chelsea in it, Julian Alvarez. This article has said Arsenal and Chelsea have both reportedly held talks over a potential move for Julian Alvarez. I'm not going to try and regurgitate. I love that word because it's probably one of the only wavy words I can say. Regurgitate. Come on. I know there's Gally out there. Brownings, come on, smash the like button. Regurgitate. Chelsea, I think it makes sense. PSG would be naughty. I still think he's getting Barca. Where have these rumors come from, though? Has everyone just decided, yo, we want Julian Alvarez, the striker market's dead? Or has there been something? Because all of these clubs can't be in talks unless there's been either his agent or something. Yo, he wants to get out of Atletico. Maybe he's cool at Atletico, but they want to sell him. There's got to be something. This could all be nonsense because a lot of the time, what's actually going on in the real world of football, which we're not privy to, and the tabloids, are very different things, people. But people have held talks apparently via intermediaries. Yeah, man. It is what it is. Apparently, and how do you lot feel about this? Arsenal are reportedly ready to offer Gabriel Jesus a 1-year contract extension following his return to fitness. He suffered an ACL in January of 2025. Obviously, he's back now. He's featured in each of Arsenal's last 12 matches across all comps. Has he? 12 to last 12? You sure? Fair enough. But yeah, there's some of that. That might be to protect some level of value. Are we really under protecting value? Obviously, from the summer, he's leaving for free. I do think at a point, we've probably been braced to let Jesus leave for free. Probably want to get rid of his wages. Again, form will be everything. Because right now, everybody, including me, it's a shot in Jesus thing at the end of the summer. I was on using him now. Do what we need to achieve this season. Keep it moving. But we all know things can change. Form can change. And that might be the right decision. If his form's out this well, giving him a new deal. But we've seen this before. A man needs a new deal. It seems like it's the only sensible logic is to give a man a new deal and then he starts stinking up the gaff again. So I don't know. And he has said he wants to stay at Arsenal, as we saw, people. My first target is to be healthy, he said after the win against Inter. This is my fourth season at Arsenal. Unfortunately, I've played maybe 1.5, 2 fit, and then the rest with injuries. That happens, never happened with me. But before here, I don't know why, and I don't ask myself anymore. I just try to be fit. Like I said, my wish is to stay at Arsenal and then have a contract as well. I want to extend my contract. I want to stay here. I want to win trophies with Arsenal because I came here with a purpose. That's it. But sometimes the reality is different. Like I said, my focus now is to stay fit and win trophies with Arsenal. Hopefully, we can achieve that this season, people. We've been linked with a Corinthians wonder kid. I'll probably do a tactical vid. I can't act like I'm watching him, so I'll do my research and report my findings to you lot. But Arsenal reportedly initiated contact with Corinthians in an attempt to finalize a deal for 16-year-old wonder kid Igor Mercado. Just because of the name, sign him. You got the Ecuadorian youths. We're linked with that Brazilian who's playing in Croatia. Last Brazilian we bought that was playing in Croatia did all right. Bring all these young players. One guy excited subjectively, but the Irish youth we're buying purely because he will join next January, I think, when he's 18. He's playing men's football now. I don't think under 21s is going to help you. It'd be interesting to see just where you're at footballing wise. We can find the stars of tomorrow. Great stuff. You know, if you progress to the first team, amazing, and become quality, amazing. If we can buy you low, sell you high, it's all great, people. But yeah, apparently we're in talks over a pre-agreement for Machado, as per a report from Brazilian publication Globo Esporte. The Brazilian Giants are reportedly interested in agreeing a deal with Mercado to move to North London following his 18th birthday in February 2027. So he will join in the summer of 2027. And you wouldn't expect him to debut, but just at the fact that he's 18, he couldn't technically play for Arsenal until the earliest, the 2027-28 season. Although they're expected to face significant competition from Ajax, both clubs are understood to have open talks with Corinthians to register their interest in Mercado, but formal discussions over a deal aren't currently ongoing. Apparently, they've recently increased his salary at the club, and while they've also tied him to a fresh contract of 100-odd million, people. The teenage defender is yet to make his first team debut for Corinthians, but was recently invited to take part in training with the senior side, and he's currently a regular for the under-20s, people. So, yeah, and we've also been linked with Breno Buidon, a 20-year-old midfielder who's apparently available for 25 million euros. Whether you take that with any pinch of salt, I don't know. We've been linked with apparently the Balkan Barella. Miles Lewis Skinny barged him into next Wednesday. Arsenal and Borussia Dortmund will have scouts present in Sweden this evening, which was yesterday, to look at the Red Star Belgrade 17-year-old midfielder. Anyone playing for Red Star out of Serbia, can't tell you anything about this guy. It's worth a look. I know that much. So we're looking at the stars for tomorrow. Apparently, the chief that works at Red Star said, I can't tell you about exactly who has called, but we have already received an offer worth 20 million euros, which equates to 17.45 million pounds for him, people. Of course, but not just any team. He could play for one of the big six. Apparently, Bayern Munich are drawing interest. Arsenal are tracking the player. Why not, man? If he progressed to the first team, great. But it's not just going to be us looking at the stars of tomorrow, people. I wanted to ask you lot, yeah. Like this tweet says, if you could pick 3 players from this squad to join the current squad, who would you pick? You've got the 11 is Petr Cech, Bellerin, the Bandulu, Gabriel, Koscielny, Monreal, Coquelin, Cazorla, Wilshere, Ozil, Alexis, Giroud. I mean, anyone, maybe some of you would, but on the bench, you do have Ospina, Gibbs, Arteta, El Nene, Ramsey, Iwobi, and Jarrell Campbell. Who would you lot go for? Big up yourself, S. Shame you're losing on Sunday, man. Jesus can stay if he takes a pay cut. If you win a champs, nobody can ban you with no CL. I mean, it will always change. You win a Premier League, oh my God, it took you long enough. 1 in 20-odd years. First Premier League, first Champions League in your lifetime. Moral of the story, fuck that. I mean, when we're having fun and jokes, cool. Slag off my team, I'll slag off yours. But for people that do the serious, like, you know, when the bands become serious, fuck them. If Arsenal win the champs of the Premier, do you think I care what any Tom, Dick, and Harry that supports whatever team or on media? Who cares, bro? It's us that's going to be around the world celebrating. It's us that's going to be obviously in M5 and whatnot. It is what it is. Arsene Wenger won the Invincibles. But they had 12 draws. Pep Guardiola won beer things. But it's money. Sir Alex Ferguson. But you underachieved in Europe. Greater men. Jose. But they were defensive. Greater men than Mikel Arteta, respectfully, and better managers have been killed for less. It's always going to happen. Goalposts are always going to move. And that equates to footballers. If I'm a striker and I bag 20 league goals, we live in a funny day and age where people are like, oh my God, but what's your heat map saying? Your XGA or whatever, the expected assist is dead. What's going on? Alvarez to Arsenal, yeah. What about Gyökeres? Gyökeres has done well. He's our second, third choice striker. Jesus was the guy that kicked off this title challenge. Kai Havertz is the one that understands the system. Kai was injured. Gyökeres came in with no preseason, having to get to grips in the Premier League. You know, wasn't signed for 100 odd million, one of the cheapest signing strikers, and he's done quite well adapting. Scored our most important goal at this moment of the season in the semi-finals in England. Then stood up at the San Siro, where we've seen many a legend at AC Milan and Inter Milan. You know, I'm not comparing them to Thierry Henry and them man there, but they stood up at the San Siro. Gyökeres scored an important goal. Bearing in mind, prior to us beating Inter Milan, in our last 5 games on Italian soil or against Italian sides, we had 4 draws and 1 win. Need a lawyer and you play for Arsenal? Call me, because you are even looking at it differently, innit? You can't slag him off. We could. Big up SI though, man. Who is better, Fabregas or Arteta? Well, as a manager, I'd probably give it to Arteta. I do like how Fabregas is played. As a baller, Arteta, I'll be real. Even you in your prime at Everton, you can't lace Fabregas's boots. You can't talk to a 16-year-old, says Fabregas. Lie, man. Alexis, Cazorla, Ozil, Wilshere. One name. I'm seeing Jesse 876 saying bare names. One name. Where's the fun in that? You can't have bare names, because we all know we'd have everyone. If I could have everyone, I'd have Cazorla, I'd have Wilshere, I'd have Ozil, I'd have Alexis, I'd have Giroud, you know. I'd have Giroud. There's a method to the madness, especially where you got all these players that like to play give and goes. Giroud would actually, you know what? Giroud would look good with Saka, you know. Maybe even Odegaard. Remember Giroud for France and Arsenal. He's the guy for the give and goes. So we could do all of that. Slightly, you know what? Unpopular opinion. Ramsey and Iwobi. Heavy on the Iwobi side. Arteta, no, I'm fucking with you. But there's no fun in that. You have to have one. I love Ozil, but I don't think it'd work in this system and in this day and age. You know, I run up and down. I love Wilshere. I want to say Santi Cazorla, but I think one guy that would make a fucking big amount of difference, I'd have to say, if it's just one name, it's got to be Alexis Sanchez, bro. Alexis Sanchez and Saka on the wings. Marino, Kai, Gyökeres, Jesus, you lot do what you can in it, and we'll take it from there, if I'm honest. But that was a good way to break things down. Obviously, this is behind the paywall, but this is the calm guy who said Arsenal have concerns over the long-term injury of obviously Kai Havertz. So we'll have to see how that goes. Man United are winless in their last 7 trips to the Emirates. We need to make that 8, bro. We need to make that 8. And I would love it more if let them play like how they were waffling in August. I hope we stink. I hope we play amazing and batter them, but I hope we stink out the place. They're playing amazing, Rayas, whatever. We get 2 set pieces, boom. And the rubby players, like Hincapié scores his first goal. We just keep it moving, because these United fans are doing too much, way too much, people. But we'll talk soon. You know, we don't talk too much. Let's see what the gaffer is saying. I know the gaffer ain't going to shed any light. Fabregas definitely a better manager. 6th in the Calcio with less means than Arteta and produces better. We'll have to see. You said 3. I apologize if I said 3. One then. Yo, DG's a good salesman. Bro, listen. Even me, you think I believe half these things when I'm doing it? But I have to. Why fight the system when you can finesse it? If you are a player, what will you take to be? A club legend, win everything with a club, or be your club, or be your country legend, win the World Cup, Euros, or Copa America? Win the World Cup. Win everything with Arsenal. I mean, you could say England, but win everything with Arsenal, or win the World Cup with Jamaica. I know it's not going to happen. It might. Remember I said this, yeah? Jamaica might not get out of the group, but remember I told you like this, yeah? If Jamaica make it through, remember I told you like we're beating Portugal. Remember I told you like this. It sounds crazy until it happens. I'll take being an idiot until I'm a genius. I promise you. While we're on the topic of Jamaica, yeah? Wes Morgan is the best centre-back to have ever played in the Prem. Don't tell me about Tony Adams, Rio, John Terry, Campbell. The list goes on. They're all legends. Okay, they didn't lead in Leicester. Did any of them Leicester winning the league? Them man were playing for big clubs. Shameless thing. But yeah, we'll win. We'll do that. So yeah, that's how to answer your question. A stinky 2-0. It's got to be a country legend. Who's your biggest rival? I think Spurs, United, Chelsea. Spurs rivals. I mean, North London derby, you'd have to go that. But them 3 clubs, yeah, I hate Spurs. I actually despise Spurs, to be fair. But I'm more. It's not that I'm not up for the North London derbies, but they're just like a little brother always chatting shit, man. I'm more like, I've got respect for Man United as a club, innit? But you lot kind of ruined my childhood with the cheating thing, innit? Like, people always want to talk about the money Pep spent. Ferguson spent a lot of money in general anyways, and he spent a lot of money on referees. Mike Dean, yeah, You're one person I'll never make a Christmas card. Chelsea is well a bit scummy. Maybe Kai's injury pushing for Alvarez, another assist like Eze. I love the rhetoric, but boy, deluded. Given that United won against City and City lost to Bodo, was that a fluke win and more a City being bad than United being good? I mean, that's the kind of logic people say when it's Arsenal, so I'll go with it. But at the end of the day, yeah, nobody expected United to win. They won, innit? What I would say is we didn't learn anything about City. You know, United could have scored a lot more. Bodo Glint killed them. The way they camped in their own half against us, even games they've won, like Fulham, Brentford, Crystal Palace, they're the same. It's like different games, same old City problems, if that makes sense. Bring the smelliest 2-0, I'm good. Nah, 2-1, man. Let them man there score first. Let them man there score first. I need heartbreak. And I want our goal to come in the night. If me, let them man there score first. Man said, Reggae Boys with the World Cup is a fever dream. Man, have the dream, bro. We should have sent Odegaard to Marseille and not Wanyeri. Damn. If Rice joins Tottenham, is he an enemy? 100%. But you never do that, fella. Let me not never say never. But even the guys that have gone from Arsenal to Spurs, obviously you could say Harry Kane because he's in the academy. No one don't care about them. Who gives a fuck about Jamie O'Hara? David Bentley's touched. You can tell whenever David Bentley talks about Arsenal, once they take him off camera, he's going to cry. If I said 3 names, apologies. I meant one. That's me. I hold my L. No one's bigger than the club. But one name. So I was projecting with you lot. But yeah, should we see what the gaffer has said? We're not going to learn anything, but on Calafiori and Hincapié, we still have another training session. So we'll see tomorrow after that to assess everybody and make a decision, first of all, in the squad. On if there are any fresh injury worries, no, after Inter, we had no reported issues. That could be capped. On the selection headache of Havertz, Alvarez, and Jesus, yes, we're waiting for that. And with the amount of games that are coming up, they're all going to have opportunities and minutes, obviously. So it's great to have them back and especially to have them in good form. Pardon me, on how helpful it is for Alvarez to have Kai Havertz and Jesus back. Well, we started without a preseason and a lot of minutes and a lot of responsibility on him. Now, the fact that we have other options as well, I think it's something really positive, especially for the squad. And you can see the other day, Gabriel Jesus scoring 2 goals, Victor coming on and making an impact to win the game. On the difficulty of facing United under Carrick, which is going to be difficult. Well, obviously, Michael coming in will bring new ideas. Always the intensity rises up. You can see that in the Manchester derby, the kind of behaviors and the game that they played. So we'll expect a really tough match. We'll adapt to that for sure. But we're at home and we know how important that game is for us. Again, away from, well, you can't get away from the whole talking points about United and Arsenal and all those things. Well, the last 2 games, we haven't scored. We've dropped points. Get back to winning ways. On Wanyeri, it's obviously been announced, but I think the deal is quite close. It's something that we constantly have to be monitoring. I think the talented young players that we have need minutes. And in this case, Ethan wasn't having enough minutes. And the last thing we want is to cut his development because he's such a talent and someone who lives and breathes football. That's his life. After having a discussion with him, with his father, the agent, and the club, we decided the best thing to do was to leave and go on loan. Then we have to pick the right place. And having all the options, understand the experience that he had in Marseille as well with William Saliba and the fact that Roberto De Zerbi is there. And he's an incredible developer of young talent. And he's a really courageous manager in the ways he plays and the way he plays with young talents as well. He has a big track record about that. And I think it fits the way of playing for qualities that we want to see for Ethan. So it's going to be a great experience for him. But we know the rivalry with Man United. I'm not going to read that, bro. We know the memories. Big up Carrick. Really and truly, it's going to be different, but there's not enough body of work to us to know what Man United's Carrick's Man United looks like. So yeah, big up Wes. Man said, inshallah, we get Alvarez. You know, it's not happening now, but yeah. On it, and I would fucking love Alvarez to score against Man United of all people, man. Alvarez, we're here. Lightning after strike twice. I don't care who scores, how he scores, get my 3 points. Only if he can show his best form. It's a lot of things that have to happen consistently, be able to produce those performances and numbers, but we have a different relationship around him as well, because Kai is a player that can play in attacking midfield positions. I told you, man, don't think that number 10, 8.5, and that left midfielder role with Kai isn't. You don't think Arteta is not going to run that, people. So we can vary in relation to the opponent, their behavior, and the game we want to play. So that's good. I don't know. First of all, it's the feeling that I have towards the club because I played here, and that's unique and brings something extra. The fact you know a lot of people, in my opinion, is something very beneficial. And understanding the history of the club from the inside, and you have to acclimatize and adapt to the circumstances and then start your job. On breaking down low blocks, Gaffer, we ain't breaking down them yet enough. Well, it's one of the weapons that is necessary because a lot of teams are doing that. But as well, we can see more and more man-to-man game that is conquering not only the Premier League, but Europe, I think, as well. So you need to dominate all phases in the game if you want to have the chance to win major trophies. On how different setting up for European game is to domestic game, I'll be insulting your intelligence if I read that. on where Kai is in his rehab. Well, he's very close. Well, he's not injured. Obviously, he's been out for a long time, almost for a year, different reasons. And now we have to be very smart in the manner that we manage that load. And the minutes, I'm sure that in the next few weeks, he's going to play in minutes. I cannot tell you which competition because that will depend as well on the game context. Anyone think he gets game minutes against United? Probably gets a start in our last game in the champs. On the game context, it's a context that is positive to throw him in or not with his qualities. It's great that we have him. We can use him in different positions. We see him in different positions. And we're really happy to have him. Yay. On the importance of having Kai firing at the end of the season, we need him because Kai, I will always have an admiration for you. What was it? 2023, 24? Man can say whatever they want about Kai. When it was time to stand up, the year we lost on the last day of the season, he was on it. And that ball you played for Saka in the North London derby. Supporters can't calm no nerves. Pep Guardiola did call us the best team in the world, bro. I hear that. We heard that last year. And I listen, I'll take any plaudits. But for me, the best team's got the trophy. So go and get that. On if they're, well, I don't care about that. On how much I do care about this. On Calafiori, we are trying to adapt to the qualities of our players, and certain players give us more dynamism and more options in terms of spaces they can occupy and where they are comfortable and how they can link between them. And others are probably more static and more fixed and more positional. And Ricardo's quality is that he can be very fluent in many spaces. On Saka's recent goal scoring record, that's a possibility always. But the impact he has in games all around the attacking processes for us and the attraction he has in the points as well, open up spaces for other players. We want him to play, obviously scoring and assisting in every match. And that has to be the aim at the level he has. So we keep working on that. On if it's difficult for Havertz to trust his body, he said he don't think so. On if he's spoken to Ranieri about loans in the past, obviously he mentioned that. I'm not really here for that. Big up Pep Guardiola for his compliments. I don't care about that. On if it's difficult to leave Jesus out. Well, it's exactly what you want from a striker. The same with Victor, the same that Victor did. But at the end, you have to pick what you think is the best team to start against a different opposition. Do you go Jesus left wing, Gyökeres through the middle, or do you kind of play your hand a bit? A different context, and then how you're going to finish the games as well. So tomorrow evening or morning of the match, we'll decide. Okay. Martinelli still being linked with a move to Saudi, people. At the moment, Martinelli's got 18 months left on his contract. Arsenal are open to the idea of selling him. Berta could be open to sign a new winger at the end of the season. He snubbed a move to the Middle East last summer. Who knows what's going on over there a year from now. So, yeah, man, Kai, get fit, stay fit. Ethan, do your best in over them sides. And let's just keep it moving, people. What is this? Apparently, Ben White begins new side hustle as 150k a week Arsenal star investing in a company all about luxury. Big up you, man. A football career is short. So he's doing the chauffeur thing. Go do your thing, Ben, man. Go get your coin, man. Gabriel Jesus has changed agents, whatever that means. Could that add more fuel to the fire of leaving? I'm not sure. I mean, he's linked with moves away. He said he grew up watching Serie A. He bagged against Inter. Here we have it, man. A man said Jesus and left wing is tired, but DG still trying to drag it. Aye, boy. It's not. Apparently, he's a target of 2 Italian Serie A giants. Who, though? Who? Juventus and AC Milan. I mean, you could probably play over Jonathan David. And we all know Vlahovic. What? AC Milan trying to get Vlahovic? Imagine Arsenal sign Vlahovic. Could you imagine Gyökeres and Vlahovic? Just in terms of playing, I'll lose my marbles, mate. What's this? Arsenal have reportedly started tracking a sensational young attacker of multiple clubs in Europe, also showing an interest. Who? Oh, the same guy we spoke about. Kostov. Let me try to say his first name. Vasily Kostov. Big up the 17-year-old. Yeah, do your thing, man. What's this? Arsenal are in active talks with the camp of Hertha Berlin youngster Kenneth Ifhorn, with Berta leading discussions. I'm all for that. He's 16, playing in the second division in Germany. I'm all for that. He's got a release clause of 13 million. Bring him and that Buardi brother, and we're laughing. Middle East links to Martinelli remain, people. So it is what it is. Apparently, Norgard could be linked with a move away already, people. He's been linked with Ajax. Good move for him. Norgard, let's not be dumb. You can leave. If you want to go, you can leave in the end of the season. You're not going nowhere now. Arsenal and Dortmund are tracking the Red Star lad, as I said. Pep Guardiola makes best team in the world come. Like, bro, you need to get over it, bro. A team that's labeled bottlers. Why do you keep mentioning us, man? Allow us, bro. He is an FM wonder kid. Is Arteta the next Jose? Nah. Get a Prem medal and leave. I hear that. Bear man need to do that. Is Odegaard the worst captain in Arsenal history? That's a funny way to spell William Gallas. Also need to smoke United. You know, you've seen the way rants have been made, bro. With rants in 4 minutes, I'm just, you know what, talk your stuff, big man. Just make sure you don't lack. We need to move. Real G's move in silence like lasagna, man. That's what we need to do. But because I'm going on Rancy stream in a minute, people, I'm going to have to end this here. We've been here for an hour and 5 minutes. Happy Friday. Big up you lot as always, people. Don't forget Sunday we'll be doing a watch along. And there's always content and things of that ilk, man. Appreciate you silent viewers, those who have participated. We'll link up soon, man. Smash the like button. Leave a comment in the comment section after. Peace. Always